that you did it. Maybe I'll never see that gear again. But I won't let one lousy criminal decide how the story
I love it. Evil Eddie. Music by Evil Eddie. All right. He pretty much wrote a song about me getting robbed. I love the guy. I love him. I love him. All right. Let's get started. Let's get started. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Monday night live stream. How you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. All right. Let's get started. We are going to have a few feminist inspired videos. So I'm definitely going to be talking a lot about feminism. But let's get started. Let's get started with this video.
Why did you write the book, and what was the biggest sort of paradigm shift that you had from beginning to end?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I wrote the book. I had I think we all in the Western world have this view of feminism that it started as a reaction to men's oppression of women, that the situation had gotten bad enough with men oppressing women or treating them badly, abusing their authority, that the women just had no choice. It was a grassroots groundswell that they had to do something, right? So they took to the streets and they wrote their pamphlets and they made their signs and they marched and they did hunger strikes until they finally got some semblance of humanity granted to them by the evil patriarchy. And then from there, maybe things went off the rails after the sexual revolution. You know, that's the typical conservative point of view is feminism was good until sometime after the sexual revolution when people took it too far. And now it's a little extreme, right? That's the typical, and that's like the conservative view. The liberal view, of course, is it hasn't gone too far enough.
Yeah.
When
Werewolf, what is up? What is up? I gotta check out her book, right? I definitely want to check out her book.
When it started for me, I was actually raised by a Marxist feminist mom who was like very hardcore, like progressive activist. And I had like a boomer Rush Limbaugh dad. Shockingly, they divorced. I know. Who could have seen it coming? Who could have guessed? And so I grew up with like these two sides, you know, like my mom's point of view on things, my dad's point of view on things, but I wasn't expressly political or anything until I had my first baby when I was 20. And right after that, the big event of 2001 happened, which is when I really started paying attention to the news. Here I'm a brand new mom, a young mom. I'm watching what's going on in the world. And at the same time that these things are happening, because that was a big like red pill experience for a lot of people my age, being a young adult going through that event. And at the same time, for the first time in my life, I've got this little baby. I didn't know I would love being a mom so much. I didn't know it would be such a big deal for me. But when I had my first child and I went to do what all of us moms do now, which is you have the baby, you take a few weeks off, and then you go back to work and you have to bring the baby to daycare. And I remember bringing her to daycare and hating it, feeling horrible, being depressed, being upset, and driving there thinking, this is so stupid. I'm going to go to work and pay almost half of what I make at a job I don't care about so that a different random lady who has no interest in my child's future can do what I want to do, which is raise her. And I thought, this is so stupid. It's really inefficient. How is this better for women? Like, how is this a liberation thing for me? Like, I've always been told this is for me, that all these women before me came and they did this for me. And I'm like, I hate this, right? I'm like, this is terrible. And I remember at the time voicing these thoughts to the women around me who were mostly, I would say, like, would tell you they're Christian conservative women. And they all just said, you'll get used to it. You know, the baby will get used to it. You'll get used to it. This is how we do things now. And then they would say things like, well, you can't depend on a man for money. You've got to have your own career. You feeling horrible, being depressed, being upset, and driving there thinking this.
This is a thing where it's not like you're depending for a man for money. You're depending on the man you chose. to provide, to be the actual partner you chose him to be, right? That's what you're depending on, right? You're depending on your discernment, right? Your how you pick your discernment. That's what you're depending on. You, right? You're depending on how you chose the person. You're depending on your skills of choosing a partner. This is a thing where in life, right? I've said this before, and I'm a big believer. As human beings, we are meant to procreate. We are meant to reproduce. That is, I think that's the human prerogative, right? That is the human essence, purpose, is to survive and continue this human species. So through evolution, a part of that is, picking the right partner, right? Picking the right partner is part of nature, right? It's like literally goes hand in hand with nature. You have to pick the right partner. So, it's all this is very important. I think feminism is what is unnatural, right? Feminism is what's unnatural. And they're fighting against it. So I will always speak out against feminism.
This is so stupid. I'm going to go to work and pay almost half of what I make at a job I don't care about so that a different random lady who has no interest in my child's future can do what I want to do, which is raise her. And I thought, this is so stupid. It's really inefficient. How is this better for women? Like, how is this a liberation thing for me? Like, I've always been told this is for me, that all these women before me came and they did this for me. And I'm like, I hate this, right? I'm like, this is terrible. And I remember at the time voicing these thoughts to the women around me who were mostly, I would say, like, would tell you they're Christian conservative women. And they all just said, you'll get used to it. Like, well, you can't depend on a man for money. You've got to have your own career. You have to be independent. You want to have a man because you want him, not because you need him. The things that we all hear, right? And the more they talked,
yeah, that is true, right? We are more well, how it is, right? I guess you would say we are more superficial because we don't care about, the long term when we're young. We don't care about the long term when we're young. We care about the here and now. So caring about the here and now, you care about money, right? Quick money, and you care about looks or charm. You care about fun. You don't necessarily care about, can this person provide? Will this person be a good husband? Will this person be a good father? That is the flaw of modern day society, where there was a time when young women actually care. Will this man be a good husband? Will this man be a good father? Now, women care about, will this man be a good lay, right? Will this man be fun to be with?
The more it didn't make sense to me. So over the course of my 20s and 30s, I would slowly start picking away at this ideology in my own head and going, I don't see the sense in it. I don't know why we're doing things this way. And I'm a big history nerd. Like, that's my thing. I like to read about, like, where do ideas come from or how did we get here? And I always heard a lot of the feminist side of history from my mom growing up. So I would look into stuff here and there, like read a little bit about suffrage, read a little bit about, okay, who's Elizabeth Cady Stanton? Like, who was she and what did she do? And over the years, the more I found, it was shocking to me that these women didn't seem like the heroes I had always been told that they were. And I was just questioning the whole thing. So fast forward a little bit, I'm getting close to 40, and I'm thinking, okay, I've raised 5 kids now, and they're like, the youngest is getting older. She's really independent. She can do a lot on her own. The oldest ones are moved out already. So I was talking to my husband, and I'm like, what should I start preparing myself to do so that I don't have empty nest syndrome? Like, I'm hoping for grandkids, and that's going to be a big focus. But, I have a little time now for the first time. What do you think I should do? And he was like, the feminism stuff, you're really good at that. You're really good at explaining it and debating it. He's like, you should do something with that.
And that's the thing where women's purpose is children when they're young. The problem women keep on not thinking about, what happens when you're older? That's what happens when your kids are they're self-sufficient or they're grown or whatever. That is when you care about the other shit. Your degrees, other fulfillments, your hobbies, right? Other purposes. Women think that, I'm going to use my youth, right? To care about my purpose or my career, which not purpose is children, but care about my career, care about having fun, care about whatever shit, and not think about the future. And yet you waste your youth, and then you become old, and now you care about it. It's backwards. It's actually backwards, because now it's harder for it. Again, it's harder. Pregnancy is harder. It's harder on your body. It's harder on the children. So you're going backwards. Laughing man, what is up, my brother? What is up? No, I didn't see Discord. I think under knowledge to know I post the videos that you asked for. Remember the event. I'll look for it. I'll check those videos out. I want to check it out. Your Taste of Chicago, that would be interesting.
I thought, okay, I'll write a book. And I thought the book would be like for my kids. I thought it'd be for my kids, for my grandkids. Didn't really think it would get out there and everyone would read it, but I wanted to do like a full treatment of the history of feminism. So I took 2.5 years and dug in super, super hard. Like I went to all the primary sources. I read all the writings of the feminists themselves as far back as I could find it, and I didn't know anything. I thought I kind of knew. I didn't know. I had no idea. And as I'm researching and I'm profiling all the different feminists, pretty much diametrically opposed to Christianity. Mm-hmm. They were into the occult in various forms. A lot of them were spirit mediums, tarot card readers, automatic writers. They were theosophists. They were members of the Golden Dawn, like all the different esoteric, groups that are out there. And as I kept finding this, I thought, okay, I can't ignore this aspect because I keep finding there's something here. There's something to this. I thought it would be more about like the funding and the politics, but I found this common spiritual thread among all of these women who were so passionate about feminism that it was like that Christianity is the patriarchy, and that's really what they were fighting. And I was shocked to find a PhD thesis by a professor out of Sweden who himself is a Luciferian. So obviously he and I have different worldviews, but he found the same thing that I found. And he wrote his PhD thesis, which is a book you can buy on Amazon called Satanic Feminism. And it talks about how first wave feminism, we're talking late 1700s through the 19th century, these women openly saw Lucifer as their liberator. They wrote about it, they talked about it. And I'm like, why have I never heard that, right? So that's kind of the paradigm shatter for me, was to realize that this is a spiritual battle more than it is a political one. The politics is downstream, but that this is a spiritual thing. And even for these women that far back, they saw this as a spiritual battle more than they even saw it as a political or a financial or a social battle. So that completely changed the way that I looked at feminism and family dynamics and gender dynamics. So that's why I wrote it. And that's what really kind of blew my mind about it.
Why did you call it occult feminism?
There's two reasons. That title kind of has a dual meaning. One is because the word occult just means secret or hidden. Mm-hmm. So there's actually an entire hidden history of feminism. The history that you and I have been taught, like we just went over in the beginning of, the women were oppressed and so they had to get freedom and blah, blah, blah. That's the mainstream version we've all heard, that all the feminists were angels, heroes, brave, strong. We owe them everything, right? They were these heroes. But the secret history, the real history, has actually been gatekept by women's studies departments, by gender studies departments, which were started in 1970 by the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation to kind of astroturf the movement, to rewrite the history and make it, number one, more palatable, more appealing, especially to women of that time period who were, sexual revolutionaries, Marxists, that's.
I gotta say, the general feminist doesn't care about that shit. Right? The general feminist doesn't care about the history. I'm pretty sure they don't care about history. The paganism origin of feminism, the witchcraft,
sort of thing, but also because there was a lot of scammery going on. There was a lot of snake oil salesmen in the movement, a lot of phonies, a lot of people who were paid and pushed to the front to be the mouthpiece, while there were other occult practitioners in large part. A lot of them claimed to be spirit mediums or fortune tellers in the Golden Dawn, or they were, into espionage. They did secret insider trading deals with, wealthy industrialists of the time.
They hate them. It will just expand endlessly, and it doesn't ever end until it's until it's reined in, or until it's tempered on the individual level. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. I agree with you on everything you just said. That's usually a layer that people don't get to until they've been thinking about this stuff and observing and kind of analyzing it for quite a while. So it's pretty impressive to me that you kind of got that pretty quickly, because the curse in Genesis for the woman is what you just described, that we're going to have this innate urge to rule over the husband, even though we desire the husband. You want the husband to be the leader. You want him to have authority. You want him to be responsible and take care of business and be a man who gets things done. But at the same time, you also kind of want to tell him what to do and how he should do it and where you think he's going wrong and criticize and things like this. Now, that's like an individual level, but on a broader, more societal level, we see the same spirit, the same attitude coming up again and again. If you guys paid attention during the American political presidential cycle we just had with Nikki Haley running for president, she's shuttered her campaign now, but the song they picked for her campaign theme was a song called Maneater. And then she had the debate where she made a snide remark to the men about wearing heels and walking all over them and this sort of thing. So it's like, even a woman who is extremely powerful like her, I mean, she's been in some of the highest levels of government. She's a very powerful person. She still feels like she has to prove that she can do it better than the men.
I've said this before, right? This is modern day feminism. It isn't about equality. Women don't give a shit about equality. What women want is domination, right? Women want to become the oppressor, right? Women want that power. So that's what they want. They don't want equality, because if they did, they're done. It's like, technically, women are just as equal as men, if not more, right? So really, it's been accomplished, but that's not what women want. Women never wanted equality. They wanted power. They wanted to become the rulers, right? That's what women want. They only do it subterfuge, right? Where they had to take baby steps, right? equality and then power. That's how women go. You can't go straight to power because honestly, women don't have the strength to take power. So they have to go by slow steps.
She's going to run circles around them. She's going to get in. They're never happy when they're doing that, right? The most miserable wife is one whose husband lets her do whatever she wants. Like, no woman wants a man who she can walk all over, yet at the same time, we're constantly shit testing and pushing boundaries. So I do think that is our struggle, just like you said. I think that's the primary thing, that once this clicks with women, I've gotten lots of DMs and emails from women where they're like, once that clicked with me, everything changed. My relationship is better. I'm more relaxed. I'm not always anxious. I'm not so depressed. I kind of understand now that I don't have to always be like fighting the patriarchy. So yeah, definitely agree.
I always say this, that the most happy women I know are the women who lean into their sort of femininity and their nature. And the most happy men I know are the ones who lean into their masculinity and their masculine nature and their desire to want to be a leader, and they don't listen to this sort of outside noise. I used to live in this place called Hackney Wick in London, and it was this really super duper hipster artsy sort of place. And it was just all of the gender roles were all just confused and everything was chaos. And I remember coming away from that experience being like, I don't even need any evidence, because it's so self-evidently true by just looking at people when their nature is sort of corrupted, and they get this, like, women get this like dark, really chaotic, like combative look about them, and men become feminine. It's just yeah, I don't even need the evidence. But reading,
it is surprising that if you look at data, liberal women, which you would think that, you know, you have the freedoms, you have whatever, right? You would think that they would be the most happiest, right? Oh, single women are the most happiest, which I've debunked, right? In one of my, I've debunked that in one of my live streams. Liberal women are the most depressed. They're the most depressed group of people. Liberal women are at the top of the list of depression, right?
The book, and it reinstills it. Now, one of the things that I really found interesting was the ancient gods that you talk about at the start. We've got Inanna, Ishtar, which is a Sumerian god. And I looked into the mythology of it a little bit more. And Inanna was actually rejected by Gilgamesh in Sumerian mythology. And then Inanna killed one of Gilgamesh's friends and then sent the heavenly bull to come and attack Gilgamesh. I was like, I feel like I'm watching an episode of whatever podcast, like just hearing the stories.
It's true. And you actually, the reason I started the book with that was to kind of demonstrate that this isn't, people think this is a new thing, that this is a recent thing. This goes back to the very beginning of the oldest tales we have in humankind, in every culture, in every religion, and it repeats over and over.
Yeah, I honestly think that women have always tried to fight back, just that they weren't able to, right? I think it's evident that throughout history, there have always been a desire for women wanting to gain power. This is the thing, that women are no different than men, okay? I mean, in mentality, they want to gain power. Women want power, right? Women want to dominate. It's the human thing, okay? They want to dominate. They want to control. They want to take over. Women are no better. Women aren't natural pacifists, not in my opinion, right? They're not more, pacifist than men. No. Okay. But yet women just never had the power. Okay. Women never had the power. Women never had the ability or advantages to, one up men. Modern day, thanks to men, right? Thanks to men, women have, right? One, men have given women the technology, right? Made things easier for women, right? The working environment, gave women power, right? Gave women power, gave women, positions of power. So.
I also go into like the goddess Kali, whose consort Shiva, her male counterpart, had to throw himself under her feet and let her step on him.
Yeah, I mean, throughout history, right? Women have used what they are able to do. They weren't able to use force. They were able to use seduction. Why do you think Cleopatra was one of the most powerful women throughout history? Because she was able to use she was a queen because she was able to take control. Women want power just as much as men. They do. Right? They can't take it. They seduce it, right? They do, they use their women abilities, right? Their women power, right?
To keep her from destroying the world out of pure wrath, right? And like Lilith, the legend of the demon Lilith, and how she refused to be beneath Adam and became like a killer of infants and
I was literally thinking when I was reading that, I was like, they had this argument, Lilith and Adam, and Lilith is like, I will not be beneath you, and Adam's like, come on, like, just nothing changes. It's just the same thing that's happening today.
It's true. It's a tale as old as time, and that's why I think that what that tells you, and people who think that this kind of stuff is conspiracy, I always tell them it's, that's the wrong way to think about it. It's more like, because people say, well, how can it be the same thing every time all the way throughout history? It's because the same spirit is behind it. Now, whether you're a Christian like me who believes literally there are actual spirits, curses, things of that nature behind it, or you're a person who doesn't want to buy into that, I understand, that's fine. You could say it's the same attitude. It's the same spirit in the more secular sense of like the spirit of the age, right? It's a tale as old as time. It seems to be a central thing that human beings can't get away from, no matter what time or culture you live in. There might be some differences in how it manifests, but yeah, it's like you could look at these ancient tales and say they do look just like a whatever podcast, right? And all of us experience this struggle in relationships. Everybody does. That's why these dating podcasts are so popular. I know some people hate them. They think they're terrible, but I think they're very valuable in a way that they kind of descriptively illustrate for us this struggle where you see the.
I always think that people are stupid for hating certain things, right? But I think they hate it because it's a reflection of reality. I think a lot of people, particularly women, hate certain things because it's a reflection of reality. Women live in the blue pill, right? Women live in the matrix. Women live in the matrix. So they don't want to take the red pill, right? Women don't want to take the red pill because it will break their delusion, right? Women don't want to break the delusion. Women don't want to feel like, oh, wow, is this the real world, right? This is the real world? No, women don't want to do that.
Women saying, they'll go around the table or they'll do like an open mic on the street thing and ask all the women, do you need men? And they all say no. They're like, no, I don't need a man. What do I need a man for? I don't need men. You ask the men and they're like, well, yeah, of course we need women, right? And it's like, where does this disconnect come from? And why do the women all say no? Why do the women all say no?
Ego. Because women think that if they say they need men, it makes them less. It makes them feel less then, right? Women can't comprehend. If I say I need a man, that means I'm less than a man, right? While men don't see it like that. Men see harmonious, right? Men see it as reality, the way of life. In reality, right? This is why men are logical. In reality, you need both. You need both men and women. We cannot survive without each other, right? The human species go extinct. But here's the thing. Women don't give a shit about that. Women are nihilists, in my opinion. Right? Modern day women. They don't give a shit about humans. They don't give a shit about people. The only reason why they give a shit about other women, because it benefits them. That's the only thing. The only reason why women care about anyone else, it's because it benefits them. In reality, women are other women's biggest haters, right? I don't know about you, but I hear these stories plenty of times. Women can't stand other women, right? The cattiness, the backstabbing, the attitude, whatever. Women synonymously can't stand other women, but they will endure it because because it leads to a purpose, right? So if you, like I said, if you advocate for the equality of women, as a woman, you'll benefit, right? If you push for female empowerment, female power, well, as a woman, you'll benefit. No woman is going to like, I just want equality for myself, or I just want power for myself. You're not going to get no support for that, right? But in reality, women only give a shit about themselves. In general, I'm not saying all women, but in general, feminists, they only care about themselves. They are selfish in nature. They're selfish in ideology.
When this is a thing I've asked tons of women I debate feminists pretty often. And I'll always ask them when they tell me they don't need a man, when you get up in the morning and you turn on your light and you turn on your Apple phone and you put on your Apple Watch and you blow dry your hair with your electric blow dryer, all that electricity, where does it come from? Is it the women who are...
Electricity, all those products, where does it come from? Almost every single product you have comes from a man, comes from men, right? If men didn't build it, you wouldn't be able to use it. Like literally what's facilitated women's revolution is men's technology, right? Men's technology.
Keeping the power grid up and running. If there's a hurricane and there's a regional power outage and flooding, is it the women who go in and do the dangerous rescue missions and rebuild the infrastructure? Like, are you sure you don't need men? And they will, every single time so far, they have doubled down and said, women can do it too, because we have tools now and we can learn it. It might take us longer, but we could do it. And it's, to me, I feel like we're in a place now where the reason, like, if you want to know why this problem's been around forever. Okay. So why did feminism not become the dominant thing in the culture until 100 years ago. We're talking 6,000 to 8,000 years of written history, and only the last century has been gynocentric and dominated by feminism. Why? Because technology made that possible. There's a reason why it was right after the Industrial Revolution that feminism becomes this dominant political ideology that even a lot of men start going along with. And that's because this technologically advanced world that makes life so easy and comfortable for everyone gives women this illusion that men are disposable, that the sexes are equal in every way, that we're interchangeable widgets, that there's really no difference. Like, oh, you have a different set of, genitals than I do, and other than that, we're exactly the same. Nobody ever thought that way before. And the reason is because if you were, somebody alive in the 1500s trying to farmstead, certainly the women knew the difference. Mm-hmm. They always innately knew the difference that, well, even if they had an attitude of wanting to still dominate the man in some aspects, they knew darn well, like, okay, if the hordes from the next village come, I need the men to defend me. If, the barn collapses,
That's the thing where there was a point in time where women understand the importance of a man. It is protection, right? Women today, they think, oh, providing, but because men have tamed nature, right? Men have tamed nature. Women don't understand protection. Protection is just as important, or even more important than providing. But because women are living in a world where it's extremely safe, don't listen to the narrative, right? Don't listen to the narrative. It's so dangerous for women. It's so dangerous for women to walk out at night. This is the problem with women don't understand, even some feminist men, is that it is not. I'm not saying it's zero danger, but it's not that dangerous. It's not. Okay. It's drastically not that dangerous. Again, I'm not saying it's zero danger. Right? Be cautious. Be understand your surroundings. But it's not like you walk outside, boom, you're R-worded or you're killed. No, that's not true at all. Right? Statistics and studies don't show that. You're not walking out at night and automatically 80% of the times you get killed. No. Right? That's not true at all. But we have tamed the world so much that women don't understand the importance of men's protection. They don't. That is why when women do encounter danger, they're not with a man. They're not anywhere around a man, or they're not anywhere around a man that should be protecting them. Right? That is why women do experience danger, because they need a man to protect them. I'm sorry, you do. But women don't understand that. Women don't put importance on men's protection.
I'm not going to rebuild it. These sort of things were built into your everyday existence, and they kind of no longer are.
Yeah. Whenever I see those video clips where it's on the street and the women saying that they don't need men, and then the men saying that we need women. I mean, we kind of just get it, because we're like, women are great. They're not very funny and they can be annoying sometimes, but they're great. But there is this attitude at the moment. And I don't think that young women realize how much of a hack it is if you can put that attitude to the side. Like if you can actually say, I love men. I love my brother. I love my dad. They're so necessary. They build the infrastructure around us. I appreciate the difference. I appreciate how we complement each other. If I hear a young lady saying that, I'm like, that's wifey material.
That's critical thinking. That is high IQ. To say that you don't need a man in a world where everything around you is built by a man. Everything around you is maintained by men. That shows you your low IQ. That shows you how stupid you are. Even men know that they need men, right? Because men are not stupid enough. If something's wrong with your toilet, something's wrong with your electricity, something's wrong with your shit, you're calling other men. So men know they need other men, right? It is critical thinking. It's actual being able to think, right? It is women who have actual no critical thinking skills, right? Because they go about on emotion, how they feel, right? They feel like they don't need a man. They don't think it because they don't think. I'm sorry. Feminists don't think. They feel. That is it. Their rhetoric, how, the things they say, what the actions they do, it's based on emotion, not logic. So in general, feminists are very low IQ people.
Right there. And they don't realize how much of a hack it is, how much you could get ahead of your peers.
Yeah. And they, it's very cool and in fashion to be a brat these days. If you're a girl, that's, as somebody who's raised 4 of them, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and we had our Go Girl, She-Ra, all that kind of stuff, Madonna when I was growing up too. It's not like this is brand new, but I feel like there's something that has shifted where in the 80s, 90s, it was still popular to be a girl. It was okay to be a girl and be girly. Whereas now, who are all the dominant pop stars? Girls who sing about how much they hate their ex, getting revenge on their ex. I mean, Taylor Swift's whole catalog is about, sniping at her exes. Beyonce, Katy Perry, all the female rappers, they love to act hard like the men. They talk about, like really hardcore sex acts. They talk about, violent stuff, drug dealing. They're like, I can be hard.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted to check out this a little bit. Sean, what is up, my brother? What is up? Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is doing well. Please like the stream. Please like the stream. It helps me out. If you guys could like the stream, it helps me out. All right, let's get to some TikTok videos. Let's do some TikTok videos. It is thanks to feminism, we get to see the IQ of modern day women, right? Thanks to feminism, right? We now get to see the critical thinking skills of modern day women. So let's listen. This is a thing where I always like to dissect women's thoughts because it has enlightened me to how low IQ so many women are. Wonder, what is up, my brother? What is up? All right, let's check out some TikTok videos.
After today, I will not be fucking with anybody. After today, I will not be fucking with anybody that's not black. And when I say this, I don't say this to be rude. I don't say this to be prejudiced. I'm saying this because of the fact that my whole life I've dated.
Now, I want to say this, right? I will say this. If you don't think when your logic, right? When your logic is, yo, Fox, what is up, my brother? What is up, Fox? Yeah, I love to stream. I love streaming because this is the way I could connect to, everyone, right? I could talk to the chat. I could, connect with you guys. So I love it. So when your logic, right, can't really make sense or it's acceptable when it's applied in other scenarios, you're not logical. You're emotional, which is fine. Because imagine if a white man, a white girl, a white woman said, like, you know what? I will never date, I will never mess with people outside my race. Would you not deem that as racist?
Outside of my race. And I've realized as I've gotten older that dating outside of your race sometimes as a black woman really does put you in dangerous situations. Or
again, you know what? This is the thing where I've said this, date whoever you want, right? I'm not here to, you must date white men. You must date Asian men. No, date whoever you want, right? No one should force you on who you want to date. But my problem is when you sound stupid, I have to call you out. I have to call you out for it. To say that dating outside your race is dangerous, and yet you don't see the numbers, you don't see the studies, you don't see the stats. You are more likely to be killed, right, by a black man than a white man. Because there's not many of that, right? There's not many white men killing black women. Plus, right? Out of the two demographics, right? Black women and white men, and black women and black men. Black women and white men have a higher marriage rate, right? A lower divorce rate than black women and black men, right? So again, choose what you want. But when you say that, you know what? when you make it a personal experience, fine, right? You feel more endangered when you date white men, okay. But to say that it's more dangerous for black women to date white men, there's no study. It doesn't. The stats and studies don't support your delusional claim. It doesn't support your delusional claim, right? Yeah, it's proximity and likeness. But again, the numbers tell you, right? To say that it's more dangerous to date white men, there's no proof to that, right? There's no proof to that. There is plenty of proof that you are more likely to die by a black man than a white man. Okay, and let's be honest, marriage rates in the black community is all-time low. It's not high at all. Okay, so date whoever you want to date, but this is the problem with women like this. Look through the lens of, you know what? It's not the race of person I'm dating. It's the character of a person I'm dating. But no, everything with black people is always race. Race, race, race. When the fuck will you think about character? When the hell would you think about personality? This is why there's no critical thinking. I'm sorry. Women lack critical thinking.
It would just put you in situations where you have to argue about what you find important or your black experience. So I'm gonna give y'all story time. So tell me.
She's got no. I doubt it. I doubt people like this is rage baiting. But so it's you feel in danger, right? By because you're debating or talking about your blackness, your black history. This is the problem, right? It's like you're constantly thinking, you're constantly talking about. It's like this is the problem when some people are just too feminist, too political. It's like ridiculous. Sure.
Last year I had met with this dude on a dating app, and we ended up stopped talking. Basically, as fast as we started talking was as fast as we stopped talking, because he was kind of like he was kind of sassy. And when I say sassy, it was kind of giving like entitled, like he was deserving of our conversation and certain things. And I'm like, I don't know you, we just met. So that ended. So then we ended up matching again, like this month. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it another try. Maybe we just started off on the wrong foot. So we're texting, whatever, we're getting to know each other. And in the midst of our conversation, I'm like, oh, I'm cooking these niggas dinner. I'm talking about my family. He was like, oh, I like you. And then after that, he proceeds to start using the N-word after that, because I guess he felt like that was a go. And I said, oh, so you be using the
It's the hypocrisy, right? So when it comes out of a white person's mouth, it's terrible. I mean, like, again, I don't care to use the N-word at all, right? I think we should just destroy the N-word completely, right? Just stop talking about it. You're giving power to it, right? You're giving power to it. But it's just, I've said this before. I've dated multiple black women, right? The majority throughout my history, right? My history, I'm not currently dating a black woman, but my dating history has been black women. Not a single black woman I dated used the N-word. I've never heard them use the N-word, because in their mind, it's a disgusting word. So if you think it's a disgusting word, why would you use it? You only think it's disgusting because of the race. That's it. This is why I said black people, they don't give a shit about black people. They only care about race, right? I've said this before. When it's a black person killing another black person, they don't give a shit. When it's a white person killing a black person, they care. Not because of the death of the black person. They don't give a shit. You see that constantly. What they care about is that it's the white person doing it. That's what they care about. So they only care about race. That is it. It is tiring.
N-word, I don't know about that. His first response was very defensive. It was like, I'm never going to stop using the N-word. You can't change me. Nobody can change me. And I said, I just think it's funny that as a black person, I'm telling you that it doesn't make me uncomfortable, regardless of the experience you've had with other black people. But as a black person, I'm telling you that saying that makes me uncomfortable, and you're basically trying to...
Makes you so uncomfortable, you use it. It's like, people don't understand the hypocrisy of doing this, right? I get it. They want to take back the word, and, it's like, take back the word, but you're giving power to that word, right? It's like, the idea of taking back that word is so idiotic to me, because I will never want to empower the word chink or any kind of I guess derogatory word against Asian people, right? Whatever word, right? any words that are derogatory towards Asian people, no Asian person in general wants to take those words and use it so they can empower it back themselves. See, this is the low IQ of certain people, right? Because they want to just get rid of the word. They want to get rid of it. This is why you don't hear it. Asian people don't say it. Mainstream media, average culture, they don't say it, right? It's strictly only a word that you're using as the derogatory term. That is it. Like chink, it's only like this is the thing where my 40 years, I've only heard this out of my mouth or anybody's mouth. Like, I don't know, for the last couple decades. People don't use that word in general, right? Unless you're actually trying to attack somebody, right? Racially attack somebody. Because Asian people know, I don't want to hear that word. I don't want that word in popular English. I don't want to hear that word in mainstream media or anywhere. So we as Asian people don't want this word around, so we don't use it. Why would we empower a word, right? We're just strengthening the word. We're just making it so other people will still use it. We're keeping this word alive. Black people like this, they're keeping this fucking word alive, right? Instead of letting that word die, right? I guarantee you, if black people stopped using it and everyone knew that it was a derogatory word, that word would almost be non-existent, just like chink, right? In my opinion, I rarely ever hear it, right? I rarely ever hear it. Like I said, only unless someone is trying to attack you. That is it. You don't hear it around, but you hear the N-word in music, in common speak. You hear this word constantly. So you're keeping this word that you think it makes you uncomfortable. You feel like it makes you uncomfortable. You and your people are keeping this word alive. This is the hypocrisy and, I'm sorry, lack of critical thinking.
Tell me that my experience is wrong. He said, no, you can't change me. Nobody can change me. And I'm like, I just think it's funny that you're going to say something like that, and I'm telling you that my experience, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I went on to tell him, I said, I think it's funny how when a black person actually tells you what makes them uncomfortable, you try to negate what they're saying. And it's actually really frustrating because people that are not black typically benefit from black culture in America, African American culture. It's like
I don't know how much benefit he's getting from saying the N-word, right? Please tell me how much benefit he's getting from saying the N-word. I don't
NHT
I don't know if I would really say that black people are getting white people are getting a whole lot of benefit for saying the N-word, right? So
you benefit from the culture, but when it's time to be black, you're nowhere to be found. It's like,
give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute.
feet, coffee drifting through the air, life and laughter everywhere. Oh, stone walls and market signs, stories written through the times. Every corner, every lane feels familiar once again. No destination in my mind, just another place to find. I'm on a peaceful walk tonight, through the colors, through the lights. Every street has something new, every step reveals the view. Vietnam beneath the sky, watching another day go by. No rush, no race, no need to run, just walking with everyone.
Sorry, guys. My girlfriend like hurt herself, so sorry. Fucking hell. All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
Like when I'm telling you something makes me uncomfortable as a black woman, that's no longer serious to you. But when it comes to using the culture, you're ready to do that. So we decided to proceed the conversation to the phone. And right off the bat, as we got on the phone, I was noticing that he was ready to argue.
You proceeded? You continued the conversation? Why did you not just cut it off? Why did you not cut it off? Why did you not cut off talking to him? I'm sorry. This is the low IQ of women. This is the low IQ of modern day women. Why did you continue to talk to him? Why? It's absolutely stupid. This is what you can hear the way she's talking. If she dates black men, yeah. I mean, it is kind of serious. She banged up her face. Yeah, it's very serious. Well, it's not like life-threatening serious. It's just she has a lot of cuts and bruises, right? So, but yeah, a woman like this, even if she dates black men, she's only going to have bad experiences still, because you don't know how to pick men, right? You don't know how to pick men, period. So it doesn't matter about the race of a man. It matters about the character of a man. And you pick men with shitty character.
He was already tense. He was already ready. Voice was very attitude-ish already. And I'm like, this is not going to go well. I don't know even why I kept going through with the conversation. And I just want to note that before we got on the phone, he did say something. He was like, okay, black people benefit from Mexicans too, eating Mexican food. I'm like, everybody eats food. Yes, in America, people are going to benefit from each other's culture. But I'm telling you, we know the truth that a lot of people in America benefit from black culture in many different ways, whether it's...
Even out of your fucking mouth, we all benefit from each other. That's the point of living in a melting pot, right? Living in a mixed culture America. We all benefit from each other. It's only black people that constantly want to bring, oh, you benefit from black culture, you benefit from black culture. Then fucking leave, right? Leave. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it's like, let's say hypothetically, right? A lot of black people say, let's say the Koreans benefit from black culture. Don't you benefit from enjoying their entertainment? It's like, yeah, thank you. Thank you, laughing man.
Style of braids, whether it's clothing, whether it's just style in general, AAVE, Ebonics, all these different things that everyone in society uses comes from black culture, black American culture. So when we got on the phone, I was noticing the whole time he was just trying to prove to me why he should be able to say the N-word. But the funny part about him proving why he should be able to say the N-word was literally him putting down black people. So I'm giving him a reason why as to why it's making me uncomfortable. I'm telling him why it's making me uncomfortable, and he's telling me why he should be able to say. But while he's doing that, what he's using to prove to me why he should be saying it is he's basically letting me know why he doesn't like black people, which was very odd to me, because he was saying basically, he said black people constantly telling him to go back to where he from, which is fucked up. Black people bully Mexicans. Black people don't like Mexicans. Black people are victims, though we have a victim mentality. I'm like, I thought you was trying to be proving to me why you should be saying the N-word. Whole time, you're proving to me even more why you shouldn't be fucking saying the N-word. It's really giving that you hate black people. And that shit triggered him, because I was like, these are juxtapositions. What it sounds like is you have a problem. You have this internalized hate with black people. So you really shouldn't be saying the N-word. You really shouldn't be benefiting from the culture. His response was, where's black people at when all this ICE shit is going on? I'm going to let y'all respond to that. Because I literally told him the amount of black people that have literally been there, have been supporting, you know, Mexicans for the longest. We've been supporting all black and brown rights for years.
Is he white? Or is he Mexican?
Years, for centuries. It makes no sense to me, and I don't understand. He then asked me, what have I done for the Mexican community? I went ahead and told him the truth. What I've done for the Mexican community.
Oh, so I guess he's Hispanic.
I've protested before. I use my platform to talk about it. Like, there's nothing I can physically do, but I have, you know, used the resources I have to speak out about. When I have been in places to give back, I have given back to the black and brown community before, where there may be clothes, food, or opportunities. So he was basically using anything he could to basically prove to me how he should be saying the N-word, because of the fact that, oh, I'm not supporting the brown community as much as he would like me to. But he's never done anything his damn self. As we're on the phone, he constantly is calling me a victim. He's constantly negating what I'm saying. He's constantly disregarding my experience. He's like, you're just like all other black people. You're racist just like all other black people. And I'm like, I'm not understanding how you're getting this. This whole conversation started was for me literally telling you I'm not comfortable with you as a black woman using the N-word. I'm not comfortable with it. A whole argument began because I said I'm not comfortable with you using the N-word. Like, it really fucking irks me. And then I made a blanketed statement and I said, this is how all Mexicans act. Granted, that is not how all Mexicans act. All Mexicans, all Latin people, all brown people do not act like that. But that's what I said in the heat of the moment, because I was frustrated. He took that and he rolled that thing like it had a cock on it. He rolled that thing like it was crazy. You're racist, you think Mexicans this, you think you're racist, you're so...
Yeah, I agree. This is the problem with when you let women talk, they will contradict themselves.
Racist. I'm like, out of all the shit that has been said on this phone call, you will not let me live over saying all Mexicans when you literally told me how you basically hate black people. I want to post the messages, and I really do want to like show y'all, but I can't do that because I don't want that type of attention. I don't want that type of anything. And I told him, you're a manipulator, because what you did was you got on this phone and you were waiting on ammunition to basically prove to yourself that I'm just like all the other black people. But at the same time, while you sat up there and waited on that ammunition, you still never proved to me why you should be able to say the N-word. I think after that conversation, you shouldn't even be saying the N-word because you hate black people. You don't like us. I will not, and I repeat, I will try to keep it. I won't try to dilute. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm 25 years old. I barely ever dated black men, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try, because...
Well, what do you mean try? Just that's all you have now, right? You said you're not dating outside your race. Well, why try? That's all you're gonna have to, that's all you have now. Instead of thinking, you know what, I'm gonna try to date, respectful men, good men that don't give a men that are not ignorant, men that are actually intelligent, men that are not fucking ghetto, and men that have better personality, men that have character, values, morals. No, you know what? I'm just gonna date black men. Just fucking color. It's like, and you're surprised that women like this will only fail at it. This is a woman that will pick a pookie. She will pick a black pookie. That is it. Because in her view, all she cared about, right, was race. She never cared about this man's character, lack of morals, right? No values. She don't care about shit like that. She cared that this man isn't black. Because if he was black, he can say the N-word all day long, right? That is it. It's long distance. She's in Vietnam.
I've just been having the worst experiences with people that don't look like me. They're mean, they're nasty, and they're not what they seem. Obviously not all people, but they're not what they seem. The whole idea of liking a black woman is for show. It's not about actually caring about black women at all.
This is because you're dating people, you know, you're just picking wrong. The women I've dated, right? I didn't give a shit about their skin tone. I didn't care. I don't care about if she's black, white, Asian. I don't care. I cared about the character, right? I cared about the personality. That's what I cared about. But women like this, right? Because she picked people based on superficial qualities, your skin tone, she's just gonna continue the results of picking terrible men. So, you know, what do you guys think? Yes, exactly. 100%. If she gets with black men, the Pookie and Ray Ray will exploit her and will probably will mess her up more. She will be the one of those angry, bitter black women when she gets older. Exactly, 100%. Then she will start. See, this is the thing. Women like that will then start coming online, blaming men, blaming black men, right? Putting down black men, right? Because she doesn't know how to pick men. She has terrible discernment skills. So really, does it matter? Not really, right? Women like this have terrible discernment skills. They don't know how to pick men, so they fail at it. All right, let's check out some feminist videos, right? Let's check out some feminist TikTok videos. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. All right, guys, let's continue. I'm gonna try to I want to get through these couple videos, and I'll probably end early because you know, I got to talk to my girlfriend. But let's get started. Let's get started. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the love. All right, let's get started. All right, let's check out some of these feminist videos.
Men are not in crisis or experiencing any sort of social epidemic more so than they are reacting to their sustained loss of a patriarchal advantage.
Their sustained loss of This is a 3-minute video, so I'll probably react to it while watching it. Men are not experiencing any social, what is it?
Men are not in crisis or experiencing any sort of social epidemic more so than they are reacting.
Or epidemic. I don't know what you're talking about, right? Men are there's a high amount of self-deletion rate in men. Job loss, that men are having hard time finding jobs. And you're saying that it's because of the loss of the patriarchal advantage. So are you saying that there's no patriarchy anymore? Are you saying that women are like, are we not still in a patriarchy? I don't know. Maybe we're not then. But it's kind of stupid, right? And to be honest, right, in general, this, the whole lonely male epidemic shit, men aren't complaining about it. Men aren't really talking about it. It's women who usually are the ones talking about that shit. So
Reacting to their sustained loss of a patriarchal advantage. This is the first generation of men experiencing what it's like to exist without that systematic advantage, and there is a widespread inability to cope with that reality. Because in addition to providing men with material advantages, patriarchy provided a framework for male identity that didn't...
What was the material advantage that men had experienced throughout history? What was that? What was the material advantage, right? Because throughout history, men have suffered as well, right? Men are the ones who are sent to war. Men are the ones dying on the battlefield. Men are the ones maintaining and creating the infrastructure. What advantage do men have? I think the advantage of men, what advantage of men have is they're the work meal of society, right? Men have always been the disposable cog of society, the disposable tool of society. But hey, what can I say? Feminist women who has 0 eyebrows, they know so much. They know so much about history, society, right?
Require much effort to access, so a man's value was substantially derived from his maleness itself.
To say that
Effort to access, so a man's value was substantially derived from his maleness itself, meaning, because in addition to providing men with material advantages, patriarchy provided a framework for male identity that didn't require much effort to access, so a man's value...
Didn't require much effort to access? What the fuck are you talking about? This is the problem with low IQ feminists, right? And I'm not even sure this is an actual woman, right? I mean, like, this might be a wig. 0, whatever. It's that this is the problem with feminists. Feminists think that life for men is easy, right? Feminists think life for men is easy. And that's the problem. That's the problem we're seeing and facing. Women like this think life for men has been easy, right? Throughout history, men haven't had it easy, right? Because the patriarch gave everything to men. It's easy to attain wealth when, honestly, the majority of men, 90% of men, if not less, right? If not more, weren't in the top 1%, weren't wealthy. Most men weren't wealthy, right? Most men were struggling. But hey, right? These smart ass, these highly degreed, right? Highly certified, these supposedly intelligent women definitely know that shit, right? They absolutely low IQ fucking women.
Value was substantially derived from his maleness itself, meaning that an average man didn't need to be particularly socially competent or professionally accomplished to secure social and financial stability.
Prove it. Prove it. Prove that a man didn't have to have any abilities at all, any real abilities at all, to be secure socially and financially stable. Prove it. Prove it. I mean, like, literally, you said, I mean, like, right now, so far, you gave no proof to any of that shit. Miles, what is up? Yes, they think that the patriarch just gives us stuff, and it's not true at all. Exactly. The patriarch exists to protect women, not make life easy. Exactly. Right? The patriarchy, right, exists to make the 1% of men, right, at the top, and to protect women. Women are a commodity to the 1% of men. 1% of men, right, use women to control men in general. See, this is why women are so stupid. I'm sorry, general, right? Feminists are so stupid because they don't actually understand reality. It's the 1% of men that benefit from the patriarchy, and women by byproduct benefit as well, because the 1% of men wants to protect women, make life as easy as possible for women, because that, right, if you can control women, you can essentially control men in general. Men work hard throughout history because of women. Men work hard because of women, wanting a family, wanting to pass down his genes. Okay? So, the top 1% of men, the kings, the rulers, whatever, they make life, not try to make life as easy as possible for women, depending on the times, right? Because in turn, you can control men. To control men, you can rule the rest of the world, right? To soldiers and shit like that. That's how the world have always worked. Even in the Industrial Revolution, right? You use men, right, as labor. That's what you did, right? Men to build the infrastructure, create the products and infrastructure. But guess why those men did it? Those men didn't do it because they loved it, because it was fun, because it was easy. No, those men did it because they had to provide for women. They provided for women at home. So they can make the life as best as they can for the women they love. All right? But no, life was so easy. Life was so easy for men.
Nowadays, women generally have more economic independence, so it's no longer an economic necessity to attach themselves to a man. Nowadays, women are generally more educated.
This is a thing where it's kind of, I would say it's a kind of misnomer, right? Women are generally more degreed, right? Women have more degrees than men, right? Women educated, I don't know. I mean, are women more intelligent than men? It's debatable, and women are losing that debate. But yeah, in general, women are outpacing men in degrees. Okay, great. You're attaining more useless ass fucking degrees, because this is the thing, right? More educated. Okay, what are the degrees women are getting to be more educated than men? Marketing? Fucking, what the fuck is marketing for? Right? Fashion? Theater? Like, graphic design? Liberal arts? What the fuck? More educated? This is the lies that women say. Women are more educated. What the fuck degree you getting? I'm sorry, your liberal arts degree doesn't make you smarter than a man without a degree in liberal arts. All right? It doesn't make you smarter. It just makes you a person with a degree in liberal arts. So unless you got a degree in, I don't know, astrophysics, in mathematics, in engineering, right? Then yeah, you could probably say that you have a higher level of intelligence in a way. But a degree in marketing, in feminism, fucking means what? Doesn't mean that you're more educated, really, right? It doesn't really mean you're more educated or even more intelligent than a man.
Generally have more agency over their lives and bodies in a way that is legally protected. And with all of their social expectations,
I do say, right, the only thing I even support with feminism, right, it's the agency part. In today's day and age, there's no one to blame but women themselves, right? Women have no one to blame but themselves for the life they're living. However your life turns out, it's never the fault of a man. Why? Because women have 100% agency. They have 100% autonomy. No one is forcing you to do shit. No one is forcing you to do shit. No one is forcing you to work. No one's forcing you to marry. No one's forcing you to pick whatever man you don't want. No one is forcing you. Right? You have no force, right? Neither a man, nor a parent, not even a government really, is stopping you from doing certain things. Right? Maybe like 99%.
participation has shifted toward demanding as much from men as has been previously demanded of women. Men are reacting to this shift, consequently they are in crisis. It is not malicious, really. As I said, this is a systematic shift, so I'm not demonizing any individual man for suffering the effects. I'm not claiming the effects aren't a real thing. I'm asking us to interrogate the conditions which make them possible, which, by the way, have been falsely attributed to a misunderstanding and maligning of women's newfound independence. That is why the manosphere is currently so resonant. Grieving men mourning untouched privilege, mistaken male struggle as resulting from feminism.
This is a thing where the manosphere is not saying that, oh my God, women have taken away our privilege, right? Our privilege to provide and protect for fucking ungrateful women. That is not a privilege, right? That is not a privilege. To be honest, right? To be honest, in my opinion, the manosphere is not even saying that, to be honest, it's not even saying for you to, go back to provider and protector. To be honest, I don't think so, in my opinion. All right. Yes, the manosphere, men say that, you should up your money, but it's not for women. You up your money for yourself. Money equals freedom, right? Money equals standards. Money equals boundaries. So you're not gaining money for yourself. You're not gaining money so you can provide for a woman. You're gaining money so you can be a fucking leader of your life. No one is dictating your life because you have money. No one will touch you, right? No one will F with you. So money is not to provide for a woman. I mean, you could do it right there. I'm not saying that. That's not the purpose of it today. Money's purpose today in the manosphere, when men talk about it, it is to give you boundaries, give you agency, give you autonomy, give you the freedom, right? Give you the power to be the leader of your life. No woman is telling you what to do. You are the fucking boss because you make the money. Okay? That's what, and also, the manosphere is telling men not to marry. Telling men not to marry. So really, it's not saying that, oh, we are losing, like, the manosphere sometimes is trying to lead you away from old tradition because it benefits women. Old tradition benefits women. Traditional values benefit women. So now if you want to be a man that, because you love women, right? Because you're not as cynical, right? Then yes, you will be a traditional man. You want to provide and protect for your woman that you love. But in general, manosphere shit is not begging men to go back to tradition because men in general see that as a failing system. You are benefiting ungrateful, annoying ass woman, right? So why would the fuck we want to go back to that, right? This whole loss of privilege of the old shit, nah. That shit should be gone, right? Dead and buried. Men don't need or want to go back to old traditions because honestly, who's that benefit? Who's that benefiting? It benefits not men. Because men see it, you get married, 70% divorces are filed by women. You get your shit taken, right? So no, the old tradition doesn't benefit men. So men don't desire it. So the manosphere is not necessarily really all that preachy about go back to old traditions. No, men don't want that. What men do want, what manosphere do want, is men to gain self-respect, have boundaries, have power, right? Don't lust over fucking women and lust. Don't be controlled by women and lust, right? What the manosphere is like self-empowerment. But women like this don't really understand that.
Which they view as synonymous to society abandoning man. And wouldn't you know, all their proposed solutions amount to nothing more than turning back the clock to rebuild patriarchal structures by returning to traditional gender roles and rebuilding the...
No. It's not to turn back times. It's like to actually make society fair. That's what men are saying. Not to go back to old traditions. Make society fair. Go do divorces. Do 50-50 custody. Get rid of child support. All right? Black big bars. What is up, my brother? Men are not saying, let's go back to old school. Let's go back to the old ways. No, going back to the old ways only benefits women. All right. 50-50 custody, child, 50-50 custody. That's what men are saying. 50-50 custody. Fault-based divorces. All right. If you want to abort, men should be able to also choose to opt out of child support. That's what men want. Equality, true equality. You don't want to have kids, so men don't want it too. Men are not, like, seriously, men are not really asking, oh, let's go back to how it was. Men are realists. It's not going to ever go back to the way it was. Men are realists. It's not going to go back to the way it was. Okay? Particularly if you're manosphere men, right? Like, in general, manosphere men are not really conservative like that. In the traditional sense, right?
World in a way that is somehow devoid of feminine influence. They want society to address these struggles with the same attention that we pay to women's issues, which misses the point that women's issues are about having their agency recognized and respected as much as men's, and remove
men's agency is not respected.
Barriers that prevent achievement based on merit, whereas these struggles are largely...
Oh, really? Right? Remove, right, achievement based on merit. Or it's like, are you kidding me? If that's true, you should never have to base things on gender. Right? You shouldn't have scholarships, programs based on gender, based on race. Do you really? No, you don't. You don't, right? You don't want to base shit on gender or race. Because let's say this, right? The pay gap shit, it's not, you don't base that shit on actual merit. Women want to base this on gender. Because when you put merit in, when you put time spent, when you put, like, I don't know, experience, all this shit, right? It's not that much of a difference, right? It's not like, oh, there's any kind of a gap. And to be honest, men work more than women. So men should benefit more. But yet, why should we make it equal when men do more?
About the loss of advantages that elevated men regardless of merit. This way, nothing is going to happen until the fantastic day arrives that being male is just one characteristic among many, rather than the organizing principle of social structures. Until then, all discussion about the male crisis that doesn't identify the loss of patriarchal advantage as its root cause is just another way to protect men's feelings while avoiding the transformation that they actually require. Men are not...
Sure. I mean, what do you guys think? Just a whole lot of gibberish, right? She really gives no real basis for the things she says, right? Because her base is literally thinking that men benefited from the patriarchy. It's like, you're honestly stupid, right? You really did. And to think that society for men wasn't merit-based, more stupid. Okay? Now, again, I'm not discrediting disadvantages, right? Of course, there was a time where being someone being a woman is a disadvantage, or being a minority is a disadvantage. Okay, I agree. But it doesn't necessarily, take away from the patriarchy being merit-based, right? It was just probably merit-based for white people. Okay. But in other societies, even if majority of societies, it's patriarchal, it's always merit-based. You're not just like, oh, I'm just going to give you whatever position just because you're a man. No, that's not how society works in general. So can we cancel selective service then, since men and women? That's what I'm saying. This is the thing where that's all men are saying. You know what? You want equality? Men want it too. That is it. Right? That is what men are saying. You want equality? Men want that shit too. Let's make it equal. But why is there no fault divorces? That's not equal. That's unfair. That is unfair. That really is. Why is custody not automatically 50-50? Why is it that women can choose to have a child or not, yet men can't choose to do child support or not? Because if men choose not to do it, he has a record. He has a warrant out for his arrest. So he's actually forced to do it. Where's the advantage? Right? Where's the privilege? So it's not a privilege to be a man. It's not.
Products from misogynistic companies, and even if you know nothing.
This woman is I just want to check it out. I don't know what this video is, right? I don't always see this woman's video sometimes, right? But I have done a few reactions to her videos. She is a Chinese feminist. Ugh. Absolutely disgusting.
Even if you know nothing about Korean feminism, you probably heard their iconic slogan, "If the world born from my body oppresses me, I will not let the world exist." What started in Korea as the 4B movement now has evolved into the 6B4T movement. And let me introduce you what is that. So B stands for no in Korea, which means no marriage to man, no sex with man, no dating man, no childbirth, no buying any products from misogynistic companies, and solidarity among single women. T stands for anti. Anti-corset, which is rejecting toxic beauty standards. Anti-fandom, which is rejecting idolization and worship of men. Anti-otaku, which is rejecting misogynistic anime and subcultures. And the last one is anti-religion. And their ideology is also very popular among the Chinese feminists. I truly believe the most radical feminist movement you will see is now happening in East.
I agree. I mean, women want power. And since in modern day, men have given women an inch, they want to take a mile, right? Men have given women power, and they want to take more of it. So yes, they are drunk on power. Brainless puppets, exactly.
Asia right now. If you know about East Asian culture, you know why we're like this. Let me tell you a small thing you probably never heard of. For decades, all the Chinese female flight attendants are forced to wear heavy makeup, tight skirts, stockings, and high heels. It's because Chinese women been protesting, reporting for years, and finally, they can now wear pants and flats. Even though women still have a long way to go, but at least we're getting started. Even if you know nothing about Korean feminism, you probably heard their iconic slogan.
Okay, this is a thing where shit like this is, I just find it stupid, right? I do. I find feminism at its core idiotic, right? I mean, I agree, equality for women, fine, right? I'm not saying that women shouldn't be equal, but it's like at a time where it's like you don't want to be equal, you want to be in control, right? You want to change the world to what you want.
If the world born from my body oppresses me, I will not let the world exist. What?
You see that mindset? If the world, what is it? What is this?
If the world born from my body oppresses me, I will not let the world exist.
You see that? If the world born from my body oppresses me, I will not let the world exist. I've said this. Feminist ideology, in a nutshell, is nihilistic. It is self-destructive. It is the seeking of the destruction of the world, right? And her spew is literally, trying to end the human race. Very nihilistic. Okay. This is why, in my opinion, I will always condemn any man that has children with a feminist. Any man that has children with a feminist, you are honestly, you should be killed. I'm sorry. You should be killed as a man because you are continuing a disgusting line. These women don't want the continuation of the world. They want the world to cease to exist. They are nihilistic. So just end the humanity. Yes, right? They're nihilistic. They don't like the world. They don't. Because they want the world to be utopia. If it's not utopia, the world needs to end. That is stupid. Just fucking die then.
What started in Korea as the 4B movement now has evolved into the 6B4T movement. And let me introduce you what is that. So B stands for no in Korea, which means no marriage to man, no sex with man, no dating man, no childbirth, no buying any products from misogynistic companies, and solidarity among single women.
The problem with that is, right, I think a lot of women like this. I'm not saying her in particular, right? But a lot of women like this will still deal with men. Will still probably eventually have children. Now, I'm wishing women like this all the best. Please, please stay single and childless for the rest of your life. I'm in big support, right? Any women that are like this, true feminists, the whole, single, no sex, no marriage with men. I am, hell, I can say I'm a feminist if that's true, right? Because I believe that women like this should 100% stay single and childless for the rest of their life. Please, please do. Because in my opinion, women like this need to go extinct. They do. Right? This is the thing where I'm sad to say that I think that this generation of women need to die out. Hopefully, the next generation of women can repopulate the world, right? Without the poison of feminism, right? Because hopefully the ones that do have children are not so nihilistic, selfish, disgusting, annoying, right? Because they're not, right? They're not believing, oh, no sex, no marriage with men, right? They're not so hateful of men. So they procreate, they have families and relationship with men. So hopefully they're reproducing a generation of women that are not disgusting and annoying, right? So I'm all for women like this going extinct, because please do. They need to go extinct.
Stands for anti-corset, which is rejecting toxic beauty standards. Anti-fandom, which is rejecting idolizing.
I wish that's why I'm the biggest feminist. I'm the biggest feminist. If I 100%. I've always supported women like this staying single and childless for the rest of their life. I support you, sister. Right? Please, please don't continue don't continue procreating or interacting with men. Please. I am the biggest supporter of women decentering men, women not interacting with men. Hell, I'm actually a big supporter of women hating men. Please. Feminists hate men, because honestly, it gives me more content, right?
And worship of men. Anti-otaku, which is rejecting misogynistic anime and subcultures. And the last one is anti-religion. And their ideology is also very popular among the Chinese feminists. I truly believe the most radical feminist movement you will see is now happening in East Asia right now. If you know about...
And you can see, right? Korea, China, Japan, they are experiencing, the lowest birth rates ever. I mean, hell, what can I say? If Koreans go extinct in the next 50 years, you know who to blame, right? And here's the thing, right? Here's the sad thing, where when you let feminists control your country, if you go extinct, you go extinct, right? No one to blame but Korea themselves, right? Koreans themselves. Just happens, just how it is. This is what I'm saying. Like, well, sucks to be you, because studies are showing that there's a chance that in the next 50 years, right, about one or two generations, Koreans will go extinct, right? They will be going extinct.
East Asian culture, you know why we're like this. Let me tell you a small thing you probably never heard of. For decades, all the Chinese female flight attendants are forced to wear heavy makeup, tight skirts, stockings, and high heels. It's because Chinese women been protesting, reporting for years, and finally, they can now wear pants and flats.
Great, okay? I mean, great, right? Women can now wear pants and flats, right? Fine. But in my thing is like, don't do the jobs then. It's like, I just find it funny sometimes, right? When people complain about a job, but they still want to do that job, it never makes sense to me. If you hate that job, leave that job. But this is the mentality of women, right? So instead of wanting to just not do the job anymore, right? Women want to change it. And that's the mentality of a lot of women, right? They want to change it instead of just, it's just changing themselves. And that's the thing where I think that's women being drunk on power. They want power, and they're when they have some power, they be corrupt on it. So I think that's the mentality of a lot of these women. So
the women still have a long way to go, but at least we're getting started. Even
women have a long way to go. To be honest, if I was ruler, I would start trying to, I would honestly, if I had the power, if I had the money, I would give all these women a piece of land and go for it, right? Go crazy. Like, get the fuck out. Get the hell out of my society and go, I don't know, build your own society, because you're annoying as shit, right? You got a long way to go. Don't go in this society. Get out. But that's how I view it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Guys, I'm gonna have to end early. Something happened with my girlfriend, so I want to focus on her, right? So I'm sorry, guys. I love you. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for being here. Brent, Big Bars, Miles, Laughing Man, Sean, Wonder, Old Fox, Werewolf. Guys, I love you, right? Thank you guys for just stopping by. Thank you guys for all the love, support. You guys are amazing. I love you. Sorry I got end the show short tonight. Some other pressing concerns, but yeah, I love you. You guys are amazing. See you guys later. Artie, sorry, my brother. I'm about to, I had to cut the show short today, but I love you. All right. Wednesday, please come on Wednesday, right? Please come Wednesday. We definitely, I want to, you know, join the show and we could react to things together or talk about shit together, right? Miles, I love you, my brother. All right. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for checking it out. Like I said, I'm sorry I got to end the show short today. You know, something happened to my girlfriend, so I want to give her some my time. Later, guys. That's it.